Hey guys, just came out of the cinema. Just went to see a Scream Unseen, so a horror movie before it gets released into the public. I'm going to be honest, I can't pronounce the name of the film, but I'm not sure what to truly think of it. It was nothing like I've ever seen before, and I don't think I've seen the trailer to it either. So basically, it was about this American who went to Ireland, and in sort of like a motel sort of thing, he was a bit depressed, grieving the loss of his mother, it does get into that. He comes across this waitress woman who actually has an interesting part, and a few other the Irish people too. Now, this film had a unique thing to it. It said throughout, the honeymoon suite is cursed, there's a witch in there, and they keep that room shut at all times. Now, the film goes a bit weird where after a couple of drinks in the bar, the guy was found in his room trying to hang himself in his bedroom. And the waitress, who had a bad feeling in her gut something was up because he left his belongings at the bar. Now, she and another guy, I will admit, there was the guy who she was with, one of the other people that she was with, this American burnt his hand just to get rid of him, because he was one of those talks and never shuts up and never gets the point and leaves. They went into his room, he was hanging himself. Obviously they made sure he got to hospital, and he was fine because he was in the entire of this film. Now, when he goes back into the motel, he wants to find that woman to apologise for what she happened to see. And then he was told she's gone missing. Nobody knows where she is. There were suspicions that this weird guy who lives in the forest did it. Did he? No. He was blamed, and he was wrongfully blamed, I will say that. Now, this film took an interesting turn after that. So, the guy, as suspicious as it is, he went into the honeymoon suite. As I was saying, as I left off, he went to this honeymoon suite to find the girl. He fell asleep in the bed, and this creepy little thing was looking at him. And next minute, one of the waiter staff wakes him up. It's like, "What are you doing here?" Blah blah blah. And he has these keys. Now, there's a basement, and this guy tried everything in his might. Do not go in there. I will call the police on you. Blah blah blah. Do not go in there. Do not. So, the American did. Of course he did. And then was the corpse, I should say, of that waitress who he wanted to apologise for. And then the other person bolted it, locked him in that room, made sure he stays in that room, because as it would come out later on, this guy was the reason she died. He drugged her, and then while she was in a wheelchair, she wasn't wheelchair bound, but she put her in this chair, and then just literally shoved her in this basement until she died. So that sucked. And the worst of all is she was pregnant. She did a recorder of how much fear she was going through and experiencing, and saying she was pregnant. And then more and more of the clip keeps going on. We find out that she was starting to hear things. And yeah, rightfully so. That would be a really creepy, terrifying experience, especially when you don't really know where you are. You just know there's probably very, very little chance you're going to survive. So unfortunately she dies, and one of the staff was responsible for it, and it also locked the American in there too, and the American tried everything in his power to get out. So he went through this little basement, through the lift, all the way down, keeps hearing things and seeing things and different ghosts and stuff like that. And they picked out one of the old things where if you put a circle around you in chalk, it shies away from ghosts and spirits and witches and all that stuff. Which it does, it worked in that sense. But there was this crazy guy who we thought was a crazy guy, but in reality, he was just the only one who believed that it was more to it. Carry on, part 3. He thought there was more to this, so eventually he found the American. After so much of the American tried over and over and over again to get people to notice he was in there. So, but unfortunately, he had a bow and arrow straight through his skull. He got killed too. And then they were both, the killer and the American guy, I'll find his name later on and I'll put it in there, went to the proper bottom of the basement where there was loads of spirits and stuff like that. One changed the American, but he got loose. The other guy got dragged into this chamber and you never saw him again. But at this point the motel was burning, and when the American came out and freed himself, it was too much gas and steam and all that. He was found unconscious in the room. He was freed, and next minute you see him in a hospital bed talking to a guy who actually roofied him in his alcoholic drink because he burned him and he wanted to punish him. Now, there was a lot in this film. I didn't really know what to make of it. It was a bit of everything into one. Now, I've seen the advertisement poster when I left the screen, and it said it's the scariest film such like. Now, have I seen scarier? Maybe. Was it decent? Yeah. Would I go out of my way to check out this film? I don't know. Will I go and see it again? Probably not. But for what it was, though, it was pretty good. It was enjoyable. I will say, keynote, when the film got announced at the beginning, a lot of these people were cheering. It's like they were excited it was this film, so they were, I guess, pumped to see this film, which great for them. There was a little bit of laughter and stuff. But yeah, this film was decent. It was alright. It was unique, to say the very least. I'll probably give it maybe around a 4 out of 10 if I had to give a rating at all. But yeah, this film was, bear with me, it was decent. It was enjoyable. It was. Now, final part. Yes, I gave it the rating and all of that, and normally I have been doing these movie reviews sitting down, but knowing that my next bus is at 10:30, I wanted to make a move as soon as possible, so bear with me with the walking stuff. Now, I would sort of encourage people to check out this film because it will be interesting to see what you guys think. So if you do, please let me know in the comments what you think to it when it gets released into the public. Now, hope you have a good night, but please, like I say on all my movie reviews, please like, comment, share, subscribe and hit the bell for future videos, and it will let you know when I post stories, shorts and movie reviews going forward. Please do. I am trying to get 1,000 subscribers, so please help your brother out. Now, have a good night and enjoy. Peace.